गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग एवरीबॉडी। जो भी जब भी इस वीडियो को जिस भी टाइम पे देख रहे हो उस हिसाब से आज का क्लास स्टार्ट करते हैं। इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज। आज के क्लास में हम लोग क्या करेंगे मैं बताता हूँ। आज की क्लास में जो हम लोग का टॉपिक होगा वो होगा कॉम्पोजिशन। हम लोग जानते हैं कि इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के पेपर नंबर 1 में और आईसीएससी क्लास 10 स्टैंडर्ड 10 हम लोग का जो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन रहता है वो रहता है राइट अ कॉम्पोजिशन write a composition on any one of the following. Write a composition on any one of the following और वर्ड लिमिट मोर और लेस रहता है 350 to 400 वर्ड। आज हम लोग को बेसिकली यही जो क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 रहता है उसी के बारे में हम लोग को डिटेल में डिस्कस करना है कि इसको कैसे अप्रोच करें, इसके अंदर क्या क्या रह सकता है, क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं हम इस क्वेश्चन से, किस तरीके से हम लोग इसको आंसर कर सकते हैं एंड सो ऑन। ये क्वेश्चन जो रहता है इसका हम मार्क्स भी बता देते हैं। इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ 20 मार्क्स। ये जो क्वेश्चन रहता है इसमें टोटल 5 ऑप्शंस रहते हैं, ए, बी, सी, डी एंड ई। 5 ऑप्शन रहते हैं और जैसा कि आप लोग क्वेश्चन में देख सकते हैं, तुम लोग क्वेश्चन में देख सकते हो कि इन 5 ऑप्शंस में से कोई एक ऑप्शन को चूज करना पड़ता है और उसके ऊपर हम लोग को एक कॉम्पोजिशन लिखना पड़ता है दैट इज ऑफ 350 to 400 words. We have to write a composition of about 350 to 400 words on any of the selected topics of the 5 given options in the paper, and the full mark is of 20 marks. क्योंकि इंग्लिश का क्लास है तो लेट्स कंटिन्यू इन इंग्लिश ओनली। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वुड लाइक टू टॉक अबाउट द वेरियस टाइप्स the various types of composition. आज पूरे पेपर के बारे में हम लोग बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। वी आर स्पेसिफिकली टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली द क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 पार्ट of the question paper 1, that is English language paper 1 of class 10 ICSC. And first of all we'll try to get to know what types of composition are there which we can expect in the question paper of ICSC class 10. First of all, I'm writing all the various types, then I'll explain one by one what are they. The first and foremost is narrative. The second one is descriptive. The third one is argumentative. The fourth one is short story. and the fifth one is picture composition. The first one is narrative, the second one is descriptive, the third one is argumentative, the fourth one is short story, and the fifth one is picture composition. Basically, we can see there are five options, and all of the five options are of various types of composition. One option we get of narrative, one we get of descriptive, the third one we get of argumentative, fourth we get of short story, fifth we get of picture composition. We'll get to know each one in detail in just a few moments. But firstly, I would like to inform you that the various chronological order is this only in the question paper, which means that the first question, whatever is the topic, it is always of narrative type. The second topic, whatever it might be, is always of descriptive type. The third topic will always be of argumentative type. The fourth one will always be short story type, and the fifth one will always be picture composition type. If we know this, what is the reason I'm trying to tell you all this? Is because if we know this, we know previously, beforehand only, that what we need to expect from the paper. So while practicing, you can practice some of your favorite stuff in a better manner so that you'll have a mind that I have to attend this certain type of composition only because I am more comfortable with that type of composition, and I have practiced more and I have a strong hold, a strong grip on that type of composition. So let's begin with narrative and get to know what is a narrative composition. Okay, so let us start from the narrative type of composition and try to get a more detailed concept of what a narrative composition is. First of all, I'll explain it to you by giving you a suitable example. For example, a narrative composition topic can be you went for an interesting sea voyage with your family recently. Narrate your experience. This can be a really good example of a narrative type of composition. First of all, we should get to know what is a narrative type of composition. Narrative type of composition is a type of composition in which the writer is expected to narrate a particular event, incident, uh, happening, or any such thing from his point of view. The important line is from his or her own point of view for the reader of the composition, which means if you are writing a narrative composition, it should always be in first person as if you yourself have experienced all those incidents or events and you are narrating your point of view for the viewers or readers of that composition. That is why you will always get a your experience. You have been to such so and so place, you have been visited by a celebrity, and so on. And such incidents will be required to be narrated from your point of view, which means narrative is a type of composition in which you express your point of view for any particular incident, event, or any such thing in your own words and give a brief detail and overall picture of what would have happened if anyone was in your shoes and with your eyes, someone could visualize that incident or happening if he was reading the composition. Next on, we'll get to know about descriptive. There is a very stark similarity between descriptive and narrative type of composition. I'll tell you the major differences. First, let me give you an example of descriptive type of composition. Let me use another pen. This can be a good example of a descriptive type of composition, which is give a detailed description of your annual school concert, its background, arrangements, events, and so on. You'll get to see there is a really close connection and they seem really similar with the narrative type of composition. But what the difference over here is with a narrative type of composition is that this can either be in first person, in second person, or third person, or whatever person you might want to attempt it in. Which means in the narrative type of composition, you will always have to write the composition in the first person. The question itself will be devised in such a way that if you do not use the first person, your whole composition will fall off and it will not be awarded really good marks. The question will always contain something such as you, your, and some other thing which will signify you to write the narrative type of composition from your point of view. But in the descriptive type, you can write it from your point of view, or you can even write it from someone else's point of view. So over here, you are given a free hand that you can choose the person which you want to write, from whose point of view you want to write the descriptive type of composition. Another difference between narrative and descriptive type of composition is that over here we are required to provide a more detailed analysis or a more detailed narration of the event, the thing, the place, the incident or the atmosphere or any such thing. A more detailed description is required. In the narrative form of composition, we can write and we can have an approach of overall basis. That means we can tell about or narrate about any incident in a whole manner picture. So over there, we are not required to provide very minute details, but in every descriptive type of composition, you are required to give very, very minute details. For example, some of them can be given to you as hints in the question only. For example, over here, you have to write about the school annual concert. You have to specifically write about the background, the arrangements, the events, and so on, and other such similar things. Which means the question demands that you become more specific with the details you provide to the answer you are presenting for checking to the examiner. So descriptive and narrative, they both are really similar type of composition. They both test your analyzing and describing skills, the narration skills, and from your point of view or from some other point of view, you can write a composition and let the readers believe in your own point of view or not. They both test all these, but the major difference is that the descriptive is more detailed. The descriptive has a free hand with respect to with whose point of view you want to write that composition. It can be first person, it can be second person, it can be third person, and so on. But the narrative topics are so designed that you will always have to attempt it with first person as your choice of person, and without that, your whole composition might fall apart. So these were the first two types of composition which you can attempt. You have an option in ICSE class 10 paper 1. Let's move on to our next type of composition, which is argumentative composition. Let us first take an example to understand what an argumentative can type of composition be. This can be a good example of argumentative type of question composition. Reading books is a waste of time. Give your views for or against the statement. First, we'll have to understand that the topic given for any argumentative type of composition will always contain a generic statement like this: reading books is a waste of time. And thereafter, you will be required to formulate an opinion which might be for or against the notion, the statement, which means a statement will be given for you and you will be required to judge as per your own concept that whether the statement given is the one which you agree with or is it the one which you disagree with. Many people, many students always confuse that. Suppose in general, take example of this topic only. In general, we know that reading books is not a waste of time. It is very useful. But in ICSE, you are not required to write that general statement. Generally, people can say that they should always write against this type of statement, but it is not required as per ICSE Council. It is your presentation of answer which matters, not whether your choice is right or wrong. For example, if I want to write for the statement, that is, if I believe actually that reading books is a waste of time, I can do so and I will not be judged upon my misthinking that this is an incorrect statement and I am writing in agreement with that statement. So I will never be judged that whether I have chosen the correct thing or not. I will be judged based on what points I am giving in support of my choosing for or against the statement. That is, your content is what matters, not whether you have written for or against. You can choose either of the things, but you will not be judged for choosing for or against. You will always be judged if you have written for, you have chosen against, what are the reasons you have given against the statement. So, what matters is whatever is your content that should match with for or against. Another great mistake which students do is that sometimes they start writing for the notion, that is, they write in support of the statement, and in later stages of their composition, they somewhat deviate, they somewhat change their notion, and they start writing against the statement. Some of the points which they write are against the statement. This should never be done. This is a really, really grave mistake, grave, dangerous mistake that can always get you deducted some of the marks which you would have got in total for that composition. Always write either for, fully for the statement, or write against the statement, which means if you have started, clearly mention that you are either for or against the statement, and then start. If you are for, then complete the whole composition as for the statement, and if you are against the statement, then complete the whole composition against the statement only. All your points, all your reasoning should be against it, or either should be for it. There should never be contrasting statements of your own thought. That is, sometimes you are going for the statement, sometimes you are going against the statement. If it is for, then the whole composition should be for the statement. If it is against, then the whole composition should be against the statement. So now we know what type of a composition is argumentative. Next two are really simple yet a bit tricky to attempt, which is short story and picture composition. First, let us talk about short story. Let me give you an example. Write a short story ending with all's well that ends well. This is an example of short story type of composition. Write a short, original short story beginning with the sentence, she, there she stood wondering what to do, and other such statements. There is always in your in your exams, you'll always get this type of topic for short story in which there is a sentence which should be used in the beginning, in the end, or during the paragraph. The central idea revolves around that particular sentence. In this topic, that sentence is all's well that ends well, which means you have to devise an original story which revolves around the central theme of this sentence. You'll have to understand and interpret the whole sentence in such a way so that you can formulate a whole original story. Mind it, the story should be original, that is not abridged or copied. You should always write a story which has a central theme as the statement in the question, and it should always revolve around the various aspects of that particular sentence. So in that case, you will have to write a story which justifies whatever is the end or beginning or the statement which is given in the question. So this can be a really tricky part because it sometimes becomes really rigid because of the meaning or the central theme or the whole devising part. So it is better if you try not to attempt short story, because in this type of story there is a lot of requirements which are really a bit hard to achieve. For example, the originality part, the central theme should always be the sentence through which you are required to begin, end, or use in the whole composition, and so on. So for me, if you ask me as a tutor, I will suggest you that the first three type of uh, composition are better off with respect to getting marks in the exam. So the first three types are really well scoring rather than attempting short story and picture composition. And I'm not telling you not to attempt these two, but they might be a bit tricky if you lack practice, and more or less you have a more practice of these type of composition from your childhood. So that is why it is suggestible that you attempt type A, B, or C. Getting to the number fifth, which is picture composition. That is also really simple composition, but many a time the interpretations might differ. For example, there is a picture given to you. You'll get an example of picture composition on your screen right now. This is an example of picture composition. You can see over here that there is a picture given and a story is required to be written, or story or any composition is required to be written in with respect to that picture given. The difficulty of picture composition is that there might be an interpretation difference. For example, you might perceive the picture to be depicting something else rather than the examiner who is checking your question on your answer script. He might render that image to be depicting something else. So that difference of opinion can lead to your losing marks in that particular composition. So that is why this is also not very much suggestible for you all to attend. But if you have a good grip, if you have a really good approach, if you have a really good content going on in your mind, if you are really confident about these two, you can definitely suggestible for any average, above average, or good student to attempt the narrative, descriptive, or argumentative type of composition. So hope you all understood that what are the various types of composition which you can expect in an ICSE paper, English language paper, and which one should you choose as per your practice, your content, your imagination, your interpretation, and so on. Hope you all know what to expect in the exam. From now on, in the question number 1, write a composition of about 350 to 400 words on any one of the following topics. We have come to know about the various types of composition, but next on we'll try to know what should be a student's approach while attempting question number 1 of ICSP class 10 boards. Let's get to see that. Now, when we know about each and everything of the various types of the composition which we can expect in the exam, we should get to know the approach or the way in which we should attempt our questions in order to fetch the highest marks possible. These are the various steps in which you can divide your attempt process of the question number 1 of composition English language paper 1. So first and foremost thing, you should always remember that an estimated of only 25 to 35 minutes should always be taken to complete this question. This is the first and foremost criteria which should always be in your mind while attempting a paper. You should never take more than 35 minutes because it might lead to a compromised performance, a lesser performance in other questions, which might require a bit of more time. And if you perform the question within 25 minutes, under 25 minutes, it might lead to a compromise, mistake, or any such downfall in the content which you provide in your composition. So first and foremost thing you should always keep in mind, even while practicing for your exam, that the question should be completed within 25 to 35 minutes max. The next thing is you will have to first of all make a choice of what topic will you write in the exam. You should never ever always keep in mind that I will only perform the narrative type of questions, I will only perform the descriptive type of questions, or I will only perform the picture composition, and so on. Any particular topic should never be in your mind that I will always perform that particular question only. You should always be flexible in your approach. You should always be flexible in your attempt, that whatever might suit the situation, whatever content is better for you to write, you will always choose that topic. Keeping that in mind, you should always practice each and every type of composition, be it your favorite, be it you think it is difficult to perform, and so on. You should always have a grasp, a practice of each and every type of composition while you practice at home. So, as per your practice, as per your thinking, as per your approach, you should always first of all choose one of the 5 topics and stick to the topic till the very end. You should, after choosing a topic, you should never divulge from that choice. You should never think that it would have been better if I had chosen some other topic, be it C, D, E, or any other thing. So if you choose a topic, suppose topic B, then you should always stick to it. And before choosing, you should always keep in mind that is there proper content which you can write in that topic? Is there a possibility that you can fetch more marks in that particular topic than all the other rest 4 of the topics? So the choice of topic is very important while you attempt question number 1 of English language paper ICSE class 10. The next thing is planning the content. Before even choosing the topic, some of the content might come in your mind. This time you will have to properly plan all those content, and you can even use a rough sheet or back of your answer script to write all those, jot down all those points with pencil that you can later erase on, so that all those points are there in your mind and in your copy, which will be readily available while you start writing and composing that composition. So you should always keep all those points in mind, and all those points should always be in a written format. You should always be planned ahead that what is your content which you are going to write. Also, after that, you will have to organize all those contents. What does it mean to organize all those contents? After writing, suppose so and so point, for example, if take example of a native thing which I gave previously, the topic, for example, sea voyage with your family, you will have to plan ahead that what was the destination, what was the name of the sea, what was the name of the ship, what was the atmosphere, who were your family members with you, what was the date, how was the atmosphere behind the trip, and so on. So after planning, you should always organize it. That is, what points will come first should always come first. What points will come in the middle, in the body part, should always come in the middle part. And whatever content is made for the conclusion should always come in the conclusion. If you write what should have been written in the conclusion in the beginning, in the introduction part, then your graph of the composition will go down, and that should not be attempted. And because of that thing, you should always organize your content. Whatever comes first, whatever comes next, then whatever is your conclusion should come as a conclusion. There should be a parity between the stage of the composition and the information, the content which you are providing for that composition. The next thing is style and language. This is something very, very important, and this differentiates any composition from average student and any composition who is a rank holder or a really good performer in a board exam. So the style and language should be really, really relied upon for boosting up the marks in board exams. Style and language, what do I mean by style and language? You should always try. It is not mandatory, but if you want to get good marks, you should always try to use language and style in such a way which makes your composition a bit unique and a bit different from all the other answer scripts which a particular invigilator or a particular examiner is going to check in front of him. So if suppose a person is checking 50 copies, your composition should come out a bit different, a bit on some other level, so that you are given better marks than all the rest of those students, which will help you boost your marks not only in English language but as a percentage of your board exam result whole. So the style and language which you choose should always be really, really starting. It should be unique. Use of complex sentences is advisable, but only if you have practiced it well at home. If not, then you should never ever try to attempt make long complex sentences which might have grammatical incorrect spelling, grammatical errors, and other such language errors which can really get you low marks. So if you have practiced well, you should try to write in various different styles. You should try to use idioms. You should try to use phrases. You should try to use long, explicit sentences, and so on. So the style and language is also really, really what makes your answer script different and helps you fetch more marks in exams. The next thing is length. The length should be of proper amount. For example, your question requires 350 to 400 words. It is advisable to keep an approach so that you can overshoot the given point, but you should never undershoot, which means that if you want, you can always write a bit more, that is more than 450 words or 400 words, but you should never ever complete your composition within 300 words or within 350 words. It is not advisable. It is always advisable to write a bit more rather than a bit less. Also, you should not write very much more, because marks for penalizing wise, it is nothing, it will have no impact. But if you write more, then there will be higher chances that some marks will be deducted due to the discrepancies and the errors which might arise in that extra part of that composition. There might be language error, there might be spelling error, and so on. And that can cause you to lose marks in the long run. So it is advisable to keep your answer length, the composition length, at an appropriate level, and never ever undershoot the length of any composition. Write a bit more, but never a bit less. The next is handwriting and spelling. Handwriting, although it does not matter a really large amount, but you should keep your handwriting as much neat as possible and as much readable as possible. I'm not telling you to reduce your speed or reduce your pace just to keep your handwriting look really good. That is not advisable. Be it at your own speed, just be a bit neat. The spacing, the line spacing, the word spacing should be appropriate, and your handwriting should be first and foremostly readable. Anything which is not readable, that can be taken as a wrong spelling or other thing, and your marks can be cut. You can be penalized for that particular part of the composition. So handwriting is also something which should be in your mind while writing your composition. Next is spelling. Spelling is really important. You are penalized a quarter of your marks for each and every incorrect spelling which you get. So if you are writing, for example, 4 incorrect spelling, then you are penalized 1 mark from your whole answer. So that can lead to a really difference from what you might have expected your composition to fetch you as marks, and what it actually fetches you. So keep well your vocabulary, your spelling vocabulary, and all the spelling should be tried to keep kept as correct as possible. And the last part, and really important part, the revision. After completing your composition, you should at least give it 2 revisions at the most. Without 2 revisions, it is not possible to expect a really good marks from your composition. Because let me tell you one human tendency, that each and every student makes mistakes while first and foremost time writing the composition. To catch those mistakes and rectify them, you should always revise. If not twice in the first stage only, you should revise first time after completing your composition, and after you have completed all your paper, all your 80 marks you have attempted, you can go on and then revise it once again. Revision helps us try to demarcate, understand the various mistakes, the spelling mistakes, the punctuation mistakes, the grammatical errors, the tenses mistakes, and each and every such type of mistake which we can rectify so that our marks are not cut by the examiner. So revision helps us boost our marks even more after we have completed or finished our questions of composition. So all these can help you. These are the steps which you can use in order to attempt a general approach which you can use in order to score really good marks and get with flying colors your composition, and you can get yourself ahead of all the rest of the composition in the answer scripts with your answer script, which can fetch you a bit of higher marks. Hope you all have taken down notes of all the things in the class, and you have a lot of homework today. The homework will come on the screen after my video is ended, and hope you will complete your homework and you'll practice well. And if you follow all the approaches, you will definitely excel, at least in the composition part of the examination. Thank you. Hope so you do your homework. Bye bye.